Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel. Oh, what's up, everybody? It's a late night. It's buckle up. We'll try to do this quickly, but you know, nothing is ever quick. It's fast, it's slow, and slow is smooth. So drop your city and state in the chat if you're hanging out here really late. Let's get into it. You see it. Rate cuts won't matter to skilled workers. Y'all trapped at a church? Black immigrants winning. I had to do this one. Y'all sent me a bevy, a treasure trove of stuff while I was working today and doing interviews. And so I said, let me just respond to some of the silly that y'all got going out here. Now, listen, why did I say rates won't matter to skilled workers? Part of the issues with me even like moving, closing on my house is the company had 50 mortgages closing at one time. They were overwhelmed. Each mortgage lender was closing massive numbers of houses. Now you're going to say, well, Erica, that's just Austin. That doesn't count. Like, no way. You're just making that up. You're just making up the story for the work. And I'm just letting you know, people who are skilled workers, who have talent, who have skills, who have money, who are using these Texas incentives, they are closing on properties. They're closing. They're closing on properties. I don't think y'all understand what's happening right now. It's backed up, right? When you got agents leaving, mortgage people leaving the industry, and then you got the few stragglers left. Now they're getting busy because I'm telling y'all, people are calculating. They never time the market. They just go, hey, these properties been sitting for a while. What kind of incentives can you give me? And Texas is like, hey, first time home buyer, here's 15 grand. Here's another 5 grand. The builders are going, here's 7 grand. Here, the lenders, here's 7 grand. By the time these people get into the closing, there is a Facebook page, and I want to show it because it's a private Facebook page for mortgage lenders. I'm in the group because I have an affiliate for one of the people in there. Y'all might see a lot of that this fall. It is what it is. Just marketing. Not that I do anything with mortgages, just marketing. They're busy. They're busy, and they're telling their clients, don't post that you didn't have to bring no money to closing. Don't post that. Because you got all these real estate agents out here posting that you only got to bring 6,000 to closing, 7,000 to closing. And people complain about Texas. They complain about the heat. They complain about stuff. And I go, every person you hear complaining is coming here without a skill. They're coming here without a plan. They're coming here with no money. That's who you hear complaining. You don't hear the other people complaining, right? Florida even has house sales still going. Okay, so again, don't believe the hype. I'm just trying to let y'all know. Now, listen, y'all can go ahead and check those out. Top 40 certifications book, 5-day challenge, and Digital Liberty Warriors group. Our training will be on Sunday this week if you are in Digital Liberty Warriors. Saturday, we'll be at the tax. I'm not going to tell it, but I'll be in Dallas, and you've seen the guy on YouTube a million times. He runs a lot of ads. You may know who I'm talking about. He has blonde hair. I'll just leave it like that. It's going to be a busy weekend. So let's get into it. This is so funny. Thank you, Cool Breeze. No one's being let out of the church. Okay, but before we get to that, let me show you this right here, okay? I want you to understand what's happening in our society. I don't know if y'all saw the article and the people finally agreed that there are such thing as useless degrees. I know, shocking, right? We've been talking about it for 10, almost 15 years, and people like, no degree is useless, Erica. That's an awful thing to say, that someone's degree is useless. But the truth of it is it a societal need? Okay, we just saw what happened. Hospitality jobs completely dropped. I'll let the lady in the video tell you that. The second drop to hospitality was government workers. I'm going to show you this right here. I know y'all be like, here she go with this whiteboard. I'm so tired of Erica and this whiteboard. Let me just be clear. As Obama used to say, let me be clear. This is what it should look like. Just being honest. You have wall builders in society. Every society has wall builders. China is full of wall builders. Full of them, okay? plumbers, electricians, welders, repair. Y'all gonna get tired of people talking about repair, but you're gonna see it in the next 5 years. Mold remediation, water damage, and repair. You're gonna see those. They're the top trending companies that are making a lot of money. They're keeping a low profile, but you're gonna see these influencers and these people start burning it up. Inspectors, all these people you see doing these TikToks and these Instagrams, showing you these projects that are raggedy. It's gonna be flooded. It's gonna be flooded. Keep trying to tell y'all. You watch this channel, sometimes you're like, Erica, you're a year or two ahead of the curve. That just be what it be, okay? But again, trucking, roofing, sales, accountants, admin jobs, 1%. We need admins. We need somebody to file the paperwork. There are plenty of blue collar companies where the men do not care about the paperwork. Then the poor accountant got to come in, the poor bookkeeper got to come in and try to straighten it up. So we need admin and we need people to follow up, but we only need that as 1% of society. We need a bunch of wall builders in America. 30% skilled and needed. Nurses, medical, doctor, engineer, STEM. These are people we need, but we only need about 30% of them. We need 10x on the nurses for sure. We're going to need a lot of elder care for sure, but we're definitely going to need engineers. We're going to need STEM. We're going to need doctors. Management. Who needs managers, Erica? We got a lot of elderly people. We got a lot of things in America need to be managed. 2 to 5%. Okay. Business owners and creators is really, truthfully, if you look at the data, has never been more than 11%. But I give 20% here just to be hopeful. Just to be hopeful. Okay. So 11%. The business owners, in combination with management, is going to manage these folks. I know medical offices where no doctor it's nobody's doctor's office. He's just a doctor hired to work at that office. Go look at Grey's Anatomy, go look at private practice, go look at any of those. I have a friend here in town who associate more now. Back in the dancing days, used to be more of a friend. Okay. He opened up an office and people were like, oh, that's so crazy. You're so young. Because he literally he was Indian, just came out of school, super fun guy. And super nice hair, good looking guy, good looking Indian guy. And they were like, how are you opening a medical office? And he's like, his family and everybody he knew was like, what do you need to get this loan to open up this medical office so that you can hire people and not be stuck hopping from hospital to hospital trying to have a job? And sure enough, boom, that's what he did. He owned the medical facility. So listen, stuff that falls under this, medical spas, all that stuff. A lot of girls go to school to be an esthetician or work on people's skin. And I'm not knocking you. If you want to, massage people's faces, great, have at it. But I'm going to tell you like this. You're going to need to do something other than face massages and eyelashes. I know I am the bringer of awful news. I'm a jerk. Erica, you need to get your eyebrows done anyway. Listen, I'm just going to tell you, baby, everybody going back to natural eyebrows. You ain't seen? You ain't been paying attention? When the money get funny, natural eyebrows, okay? So listen, I get it. You want to do faces. You want to massage and put lashes on. That only goes so far, baby. Unless you own the building and lease out the booths to the other girls. That only goes so far. So again, this is what society is going to... micro dirty jobs and all these people, all those years of those chosen channels, they've been pumping this. We're finally going to start seeing a nudge to like, I can't afford anything. Won't you go be a plumber? Oh, I can't believe you said that, Erica. Yeah, I did. We don't care. We don't care what you want to do. We don't care that you want to be happy. There you go. Just being honest. Look at this chart. You'll start seeing more marketing like this. But I'm a creative. Yeah, you can be creative on your own time. We do not care. We don't care. Sorry. Not happening. The care is not here. Okay, let me show you this. Again, Raleigh, North Carolina. People like, oh, it's so cheap in North Carolina, Erica, to buy homes and invest and all kind of stuff. And I'd be like, okay. These companies are trying to find a way to get south. And I don't think y'all understand when we keep telling y'all they are trying every day to get south. Here's another example. Raleigh, North Carolina, getting an AI-enhanced robotics and motion center by 2027. It's a part of a $700 million expansion. Snyder Electric just announced one of the largest U.S. investments ever. And Raleigh's on the map. Now you're going to say, well, Erica, who's going to get jobs at robotics? But I'm not talking to you about who's getting the job at robotics. I'm talking to you about who is building the building. Who is going to be working to put the building together? Who's going to be clearing the ground? This upgrade for this facility will help with the power grid in North Carolina and production. This will create 1,000 jobs. But who's going to build the building? Also, another thing in North Carolina, Siemens Energy. They just have 559 jobs, 150 million invested. Met Ox, 333 jobs, 194 million invested. PA Transformer Tech, 217 jobs, 102 million invested. SmartWire's headquarters moved to Durham. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because the first thing y'all gonna say is they're bringing these jobs. They're changing Raleigh. Oh my God. But what do you need to really be saying to yourself? How can me or my cousins and them be building the building? How can we get the roofing contract? How can we get the plumbing contract? How can we get the contracts that's attached to these millions of dollars they're going to invest to build the building? Okay, because a lot of people are like, well, let me hop into college for the next 4 years so I can try to get these 217 jobs. That's thinking too small, baby. If you blue collar, be blue collar, but make good money at being blue collar. Figure out how to stay in the motion of these millions of dollars that it's going to take to build, put concrete down, put up walls, paint. Got to think bigger, baby. You got to think bigger, okay? Does that make sense? Did I lose anybody? Is everybody understanding what I'm saying? Drop a 1 in the comments so I know I can continue. I know it's late. I know you're sleepy. Give me a little energy, just a little bit, so I know what's going on. Okay, let's get out of there. And thanks, Journey to Jasmine, for sending me that. That is spot on. Okay, let me show you this guy. I got a ton of stuff to show y'all, but let me show you this. You're going to say, Erica, how hard is it to get good help? It's so hard. It's so hard sometimes. Let me show you, old boy. Y'all be sending me stuff, and sometimes I'll be going to say, don't send me that. Don't send me that. I know it's out here, but don't do it. Here we go.
No police sir here. You know that too. You're a truck driver. You're held at a different standard, man. Is either you're going to be a truck driver or you're going to be a druggie. You can't have it both ways, man. Because you see, the minute you sit behind that steering wheel, you literally have people's life in your hand. You got to take care of your CDL, bro.
You'll hop on down here. Where are you trying to get to?
Sir, Morrow. Morrow. Before Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Listen, you got the right to remain silent. Anything to say to you against your court of law, your right to present to an attorney, since you prior question, jury question, still desire. If you're not affordable, I'll put one to you free of charge. You understand? We're fine. Hey, you're under arrest, sir. You're under arrest. Keep that in mind.
Sir, you can check. I don't do nothing, sir.
Listen to me. You know you messed up.
Sir,
you know that.
Sir, please, sir.
We'll get this DRE looked at. Let's see. They about the same? 3 on 3 or is it a 5-speed? It's automatic.
Yeah. You're telling me that you want me to believe that somebody else had heroin in that truck and they just left it there.
So you can check. I don't have nothing, no marks, no.
I'm not worried about a mark. I can tell somebody's been smoking it in there. All I'm trying to get to right now is that heroin in that truck, and is it yours?
Sir, it's not mine, sir.
But it is heroin.
I'm not sure what it is, sir.
Okay. You're under arrest right now for possession of the heroin. Okay. We're gonna go to the jail and we'll talk more there. Okay.
Sir.
That truck's gonna be impounded. Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry, I didn't know this.
All right. Why am I showing y'all that? You're like, Erica, don't show me that. Don't show me this Indian man getting arrested. And that's right, he is Indian. Indian with a dot. Now, why are you saying, why am I showing you this? And I want you to understand, there is thousands of drivers who are on the drug program. There's a national drug program that lets them continue to drive under probation. Yeah, I faced several of those interviews and got cussed out by black men when they were like, why you can't give a brother a chance? I'm on the drug program. Sir, you the one decided to smoke the weed and drive and hit somebody. He had the heroin in the truck. This is why when I say wall builders, America needs people who could just get in trucks and not be on drugs. Now you're gonna say, what that's got to do with anything, or what's that got to do with us? There's a significant increase of Indian drivers in America coming via Canada, via overseas. Also, if you haven't noticed, there's been several accidents where immigrants had been crashing trucks and massive wrecks on the highway. One that just happened here right down the street from where I live, in Austin, Texas, 17-car pileup, a whole family killed, a mother, a baby, and her 3-year-old daughter, and then a grandmother. And the 17-year-old was in the car, but he wasn't killed. His grandma was killed. I don't think y'all understand. Like, so the government, because Biden's in, is like, well, excuse me, because Donald Trump's in is like, if they can't speak English, pull them out the truck. They can't speak English, pull them out the truck. Make them walk the plank, harass these companies. I personally, one of our trucks got pulled over because one of our drivers looks a little darker, but he's not. He's just a Indian black man. He just needs to curl that hair, put that curly hair back, because they be stopping him. You gotta be looking homeless looking when you drive the truck, okay? So I'm just letting y'all know, like, oh, you're just making these stories up. No, like, I'm an actual business person who actually owns assets, manages assets, and telling you what's happening on the forefront. No people who are drivers are like, man, I got pulled over in this random place. They checking for immigrant drivers with a flashlight all day and all night. So if you're doing the drugs, if you're doing the crimes, go sit at your house for the next month, because this is not the time to want to be, this ain't the time. This ain't it. Now, what did I tell you about skilled people? I'm not worried about skilled people. I'm not worried about skilled people. The reason I keep telling you I'm not worried about skilled people and I'm not worried about black immigrants, because they come here and they ain't playing with y'all. They're not. Honey, I would have been played that. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Huh? Well, huh? I have no marks on my arm. Sir, you got the smoker eyes. We know what crack eyes look like. You look cracked out. Who does hair on when they driving? That's just a crazy. And he was getting ready to go through Atlanta, y'all. 5 o'clock traffic. Y'all would have been effed up in Atlanta. The Amish. Well, let me show you this black immigrant first, and then I'm gonna show you the Amish, okay? All right, so we're in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now you're gonna say Knoxville, Tennessee, in the mountains, near where Dolly Park from? Sure enough, Knoxville too. Rocky Mountain High, University of Tennessee, Rocky Top. He said, I actually grew up in Mechanicsville essentially all my life. I lived on West Baxter. It's actually where I bought my first 2 properties I built. And you're going to say, well, who is this young man, Erica? Show me what young man. Again, I'm not trying to be funny. He was born in an East African refugee village. I came here in 2007 with my parents and grandparents. We lived in Knoxville since we've been here. Okay? So immediately you like, these pictures, they got to stop. These pictures, they got to stop. All right, let me show you him. Because I just think y'all don't understand, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think y'all understand what's happening right now. They didn't come here to play.
More than 50 units in the works. Once they're finished, he'll have 60 to 70 under his belt. He's only 24 years old. 6 on Your Side reporter Ella Wales tells us how his work is impacting Knoxville's housing market.
14 units are in the works in Mechanicsville, set to be done this summer.
I actually grew up in Mechanicsville essentially all my life. I lived up the street on West Baxter, and that's where I actually bought the first 2 properties I built. So when I seen these for sale, I was like, oh, this is right in my area.
24-year-old developer Franco Iracosi has a number of projects under construction across Knoxville. His career started when he was 19 after leaving TSU when COVID started.
Throughout high school, I always had various businesses, drop shipping, e-commerce, and anything like that. Again, but when the pandemic happened, me being forced to be at home, I kind of found something that I wanted to do that I was passionate about, which was real estate. It just happened quicker than I thought.
Iracosi is a longtime Knoxville resident, but that's not where his story started.
I was originally born in East Africa in a refugee camp. I came here 2007 with my parents and my grandparents, and we've lived again in Knoxville since we've been here.
Before jumping into townhomes and multifamily units, he took care of his most important project, building his mom a new house.
I always told myself whenever I get some money, I want to take care of my mom. again, coming from an immigrant household, that's essentially always number one
Why you
thing to do.
ain't gonna take care of
And
your
my
mama?
parents never spoke a lick of English, and they worked their way up here to essentially get me here.
Ira Cozy's current projects include 4 units on Allen Drive off of Clinton Highway, 4 units on Harsh Street in South Knoxville, and a duplex on Cecil Avenue. He has land on West Baxter where he plans to build 20 units and Western Avenue where he plans to build 14. These
You know where those are, right? That's the black side of town, where they just let it kind of crumble. And now somebody's coming in and buying up and building on it. I want y'all to understand, these people are not coming here to play with y'all. They look like you, but they're not coming here to play. Your 19-year-old son who's complaining about he don't want to work outside, he don't want to work with his hands. You don't have to. You can be management. You can control the project. I really don't think y'all understand what's happening. People, when y'all hear all these women's talk, it's a bunch of 50 and 40-year-old black men saying this shit online. It's not these under 30s. These under 30s is getting to it. These under 30 black immigrants are getting to, they are driving trucks. They are out here working. They are out here getting married. If you see all the ridiculous Instagram pages where these kids are getting blown up, like, why you do that? He is he looks FBA with the braids, but you know what I'm saying? So again, he's out here in Tennessee in a park where it's not thriving. And it's like, oh, I can get this piece of land for 10K. Trust me, go look up this area. It's where the black people are. You can get some of these land lots for pennies on a dollar. And nobody over there thought about building. Nobody thought about putting a better house up together. Now, I'm trying to say why his daddy ain't buy a better house from his mama, but I'm not trying to be messy. At the end of the day, this boy's 24. It's just a template business he's following. And I keep telling y'all that. You're going to see anybody who's in the inner circle this year, you're going to see hands-on first deal. You're going to see hands-on. You're welcome to, you're in the inner circle. You're welcome to come through. Listen, we're doing the book launch ought to be, I guess, in 72 hours, maybe. I'm not certain. We have a bunch of podcasts we've already been on and talked to. Got some pre-recordings we're going to be able to share. But I just want y'all to understand, these people are not playing, and neither am I. It's a simple math equation. If you really want to go from 0 to a couple million a year or two, you really can. You know? But I'm not here to convince. I'm just going to document and show and go on about my business, because I've played my part for a good 10 years, advocating and telling people about making more money.
These units are mostly townhomes and multifamily housing, some falling under Knoxville's middle housing standards. Reporting in Knoxville, Ella.
Now look at that house on that corner. You already know what area that is. West 4th. Come on, man. Go look up the street. Go look up Mechanicsville. Go look up this area and tell me who lives over here. Go look at who owns all the rentals over there. Let's play it back just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I want y'all to see. This is only 2 minutes.
19 after leaving
50
TSU
properties.
when
These
COVID
50
started.
units.
Throughout high school, I always had various businesses, drop shipping, e-commerce, and anything like that. Again, but when the pandemic happened, me being forced to be at home, I kind of found something that I wanted to do, that I was passionate about, which
e-commerce, drop shipping, trying to do everything from the digital from home. Okay. Y'all don't hear me. These kids will get to it, try it, take hold of it. Okay, did it work? Did it not work? Cool. Let me go on to the next.
It just happened quicker than I thought.
Ira Cozy is a longtime Knoxville resident, but that's not where his story started.
I was originally born in East Africa in a refugee camp. I came here 2007 with my parents and my grandparents, and we've lived again in Knoxville since we've been here.
Before jumping into townhomes and multifamily units, he took care of his most important project, building his mom a new house.
I always told myself whenever I get some money, I want to take care of my mom. Again, coming from an immigrant household, that's essentially always number one thing to do. And my parents never spoke a lick of English, and they worked their way up here to essentially get me here.
Ira Cozy's current projects include 4 units on Allen Drive off of Clinton Highway, 4 units on Harsh Street in South Knoxville, and a duplex on Cecil Avenue. He has land on West Baxter where he plans to build 20 units and Western Avenue where he plans to build 14. These units are mostly townhomes and multifamily housing, some falling under Knoxville's middle housing standards. Reporting.
All right, so why would I show you this? Why am I, oh, Erica, why are you bringing this up? Why are you talking about this? I want you to understand. They know the game. The game is simple. It's not a hard game. It's really, they're going to come in here. And if you know anybody from St. Louis, they had the Bosnians come in there, right? They had those Eastern European people come in, and they were housing them in downtown rough parts of St. Louis. Them people are now owning apartments all over St. Louis. Bosnians, refugees. Now you're gonna say, well, because they're white, because they're white. No, because the game is buy property. The game is to own rentals, right? Y'all love telling people, I don't want to own rentals. I don't want to be dealing with tenants. I don't want to deal with people. Listen, nobody does. Nobody wants to deal with people. Nobody wants to interact with people, but that's the name of the game. Some of y'all didn't play Monopoly as a kid, and it shows. That's your problem. You keep skipping and going to jail on the Monopoly board. I don't understand why. Y'all refuse to hear what's happening in front of your face, in your neighborhoods, in your communities. Same thing in Houston. The Vietnamese, the Koreans, the illegal Koreans there, and they are putting news out. There's a ton of illegal Koreans there. They are buying up the properties. Chris Senegal, love him to death, great guy. What is that last name? Senegal. What is he? Nigerian. Y'all don't, and again, all skin folk, kinfolk, some of us are good. It's all good. All good in the hood. I love Chris. Chris, good people. I'm just letting you know. You're like, oh, black people doing stuff in Houston. Nigerians are doing stuff in Houston. Don't get it twisted. Nigerians are doing stuff in Houston. Heavy. Indians are doing stuff in Houston. Islanders are doing stuff in Houston. Our community, I don't know. I don't want to be dealing with that. You know, my uncle did construction, hurt his back. I don't want to hurt my back. Baby, you ain't lifted a bag of concrete in your life. I worked at Lowe's. I lifted probably more concrete than y'all did. That's why y'all can't tell me. You can't tell me. I've worked with these people who I don't want to do that job. You're at Lowe's. Baby, you're not doing no job. You just standing around these aisles moving stuff on the shelves. You should get a skill. Let me get out of here. Malaysians went to South St. Louis when the Civil War was over there. Hey, you already know. You already know. Let me show you the other thing I have. Because I got some clips. That's right. That's right. That, again, and now the black people are renting from them. The black people are renting from them and complaining about it. And I don't think you understand. They coming from a country where y'all got lights and electrics out being worse. Ain't your stove working? Don't be worse. You got a rundown refrigerator, so what? I'm a refugee to America. This is why when y'all be like, well, they holding the black people down. Are they holding us down? Or are we not playing the game that is clear to everybody else? The game is to own property. The game is to own property. The game, you know, there are janitors I know who own multiple properties. There is a security guard I know in Fayetteville that owns multiple properties. So this ain't a money thing. Oh, it's because of the money. They don't have enough money. Dion came on the show making $60K a year as a truck driver instructor, owning multiple property. Only black people give you the pushback and be like, well, everybody don't need to own a house, Erica. We don't all need to own houses. You know, there's other ways to make money. The data doesn't support that conversation you're having. The data never shows where you're renting a property in Atlanta the rest of your life and you put significant money into your 401k. It never shows that. The data doesn't show it anywhere. If you have it, bring it to me. I'll review it. Now you might pay you for it. Might give you a good $20. Show me where it says that, because it don't. It don't say it. So again, St. Louis. Oh, nobody want to be there, but you there. You still there. But you don't own nothing there? Okay. Again, right now in my hometown, so another wealthy older person died and a bunch of properties up for sale. I told my mom and them, let's go get them. Let's pick them up, because them black people been over there renting in them apartments for 20 years. And guess what? They're going to keep renting another 20 years because they don't plan on buying a house. They don't plan on going nowhere. They don't. It's better than me own the land and own the property than a Bosnian who don't care about grandma Bertha legs hurting and she need to make sure the hot water heater working. Come on, man. Y'all know it's true. Man, not working at the post office. Listen, they moving on up. Moving on up. Hey, to the east side, they finally got a piece. Yeah, you got to own something. Got to. You got to. There has to be some ownership component. This is a whole country built off ownership. And people are like, I got to own something? Yeah. Let me show you this. Oh man, I got a lot. Now, do y'all know about Amish? Anybody here ever seen Amish on a buggy? Anybody in the comments seen an Amish on a buggy? Put a 2. Anybody seen an Amish on a buggy? Put a 2 in the comments. The Amish are known for what? Building, construction, having money, having farms, having what? No debt on the farms. Okay, let's go here for a second. Are y'all ready? This is how they did the Amish. Canada is foul. Canada, if you're an Indian person, you're on the reservation and you want to leave the reservation, when you left the reservation, Canada marked you as white. That's why you'll go in Canada and see very dark-skinned white people and be like, are you Indian? Oh, no, I'm not Indian. Yes, you are. Your grandpa or your father probably left the reservation and they made them put white on paper. Canada is not as white as y'all see it. It's not. Okay? Let me go ahead and tell you how they played the Amish. Here you go. Hope y'all ready to hear this.
So years go by and an Amish goes to the bank to get a loan for some livestock and pledges the farm as the security. And the banker types in and says, I'm sorry, I can't give you the loan. There's a lien against your farm.
Oh, yeah.
And then another Amish passes away, wants to bequeath the farm to his son. Can't, there's a lien on it. You got to sell the farm to pay the lien.
Yep.
Soon the whole community does this, hundreds of thousands of dollars in tickets. Now, it was a miracle we found out about this because they don't know what Rebel News is. They don't follow the internet or watch TV. A friendly non-Amish neighbor heard them talking about this and heard it. So we helped, there's a charity called the Democracy Fund. I know you've spoken at one of the events before. The Democracy Fund has dispatched lawyers to help the Amish and to crack open these cases again and redo them. And basically, these were trials in absentia. The Amish were not there. And we're having some success at it's hard to crack open a case once it's guilty. And,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But just stop for 1 second. The Amish, they're not hidden. They wear the black hats and they're unique. They almost look like Orthodox Jews in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And in Canada, they go on horse and carriage.
Yeah.
You know an Amish when you see it.
Definitely.
And you can probably detect that they're not smartphone friendly.
Yeah.
How many people in the Canadian bureaucracy would have been involved from that first border agent to his manager, to the court, to the prosecutor, to the judge, and then to convict? But I have never heard of a lien being put on, liens on all their farms.
Well, that's what would happen if you didn't pay the tickets.
I haven't met anyone else in the country who has had that. We heard about this from a friend of the Amish, that the Amish used to go back and forth between Ontario and the US to visit the other colonies down there for dates, for family events. So every time the Amish would come back across the border into Canada during the pandemic, there was a border officer who would say, have you downloaded the ArriveCan app on your smartphone?
Right, right.
Now, for your American viewers, they don't know what ArriveCan is. It's a mandatory app, sort of spyware, that you have to give all your health details, all your vax details. You have to put it in this app on your phone, or you get a $6,000 fine.
Mm-hmm.
So the Amish, they don't know what download or app. They know what a smartphone is. They just don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
ArriveCan. So they would go, every time they would come back to Canada, every single person, including children, would get a $6,000 fine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they're not on the internet. They're not on phones or faxes. They're really cut off. So years go by and an Amish goes to the bank to get a loan for some livestock and pledges the farm as the security. And the banker types in and says, I'm sorry, I can't give you the loan. There's a lien against your farm.
Oh, yeah.
And then another Amish passes away, wants to bequeath the farm to his son. Can't, there's a lien on it. You got to sell the farm to pay the lien.
Yeah.
Soon the whole community does this, hundreds of thousands of dollars in tickets.
Okay. Well, I don't want to force y'all to hear the whole thing twice. But do you understand that people were in the comments were like, I'm Canadian and I didn't get any liens? And people responded, because you don't have shit. Because you're a broke Canadian. You're a brokey. They know there's no money coming out of your pocket. We had a friend's mom come down to Austin, Texas, because her daughter was having a baby. It was a little bit difficult. So her and her husband were here. Her husband's from Alaska. He's here. And her mom came from Canada. Now, this is during the COVID. Her mom was like, I didn't fill out some particular form, and it's going to cost me $2,000 to go back. So her mom stayed here for 3 months with her and her baby. She got a whole husband and other children up in Canada. And the family was like, oh, we better start saving this money so we can get your mom back. Because not only was that, you were going to fly back to Canada, you're going to fill out this form, and they were going to immediately send you over to some of these hospitals in Canada for you to do a 2-week isolation. Because where was she coming from? Texas. So the mom's like, I'll just wait. We'll just wait. It'll calm down. These people are going to calm down. I'm just going to stay here in Austin, and it'll be fine. It took 3 months. 3 months. So when y'all talk about people, oh, you know, they didn't bother me because they knew the average Canadian ain't got no money. These Amish are different. They own farm, they own lands. This is part of why I was going to this event this weekend, because it's asset tax and asset protection. And I just don't think y'all understand, like, the way the country's tilting. We're not Canada by any means. We have the right of movement, right? But think about that. Thousands of Amish going back and forth. And it had to be some border agent writing it down every time. Because I don't think you understand. Amish, because the way they're set up, and there's Black Amish, that's how crazy it is. They'll go across states. They'll make sure they send the children, you know, in various directions so that the blood doesn't get, you know, you don't have some cousins with some ears, extra ears or something out there. And so they just going back and forth. They ain't paying it no mind. That's an American thing, or what they would say the English. They call us the English. Again, why did they go after Amish? They have land. They have land with no debt on it. This is why when y'all sit here and tell me about you not buying a house or not buying land, I just look at you crazy. I'm like, that's the only currency in the Americas that makes sense is land. What can you sell? Land. What can you live on? Land. But what can you do lease out with? Land. What can you do farming with? Land. So when people try to sell me on apartments and condos and all kinds of stuff, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna let you believe that. Okay, let me show you this other thing. Now, you know, everybody know about Houston's third ward. You're like, okay, Erica, the third ward. Yeah, we know that. Well, there's programs, you know, in place for the third ward, you know. So I'll pull this up. Okay, here we go.
To buy hundreds of lots in and around Third Ward in the hopes of slowing gentrification and building affordable housing on the land. But hundreds of the lots that Midtown purchased are still vacant, and the agency's done a poor job maintaining them. A former Midtown executive and 2 landscaping vendors now face felony charges for misusing $8.5 million in Midtown housing funds. They were supposed to be maintaining the lots, but prosecutors said they were often paid for work they didn't do. Midtown has built some housing, usually by selling lots to home builders, but the agency's single largest housing expense is the project we wrote about this week, a $22 million office tower and parking garage that no one lives in. Midtown justified this choice because it said that the tower would be Houston's central clearinghouse for everything related to affordable housing. But 3.5 years after it was built, it's still half empty. Midtown now acknowledges no city or county agency, the region's largest providers of affordable housing, ever committed to move in. To learn more, click the links below. Hi folks, Mike Morris with the Chronicle here to tell you about a City of Houston agency's questionable use of its dedicated affordable housing funds. The Midtown Redevelopment Authority for 2 decades has used its housing funds to buy hundreds of lots in and around Third Ward in the hopes of slowing gentrification and building affordable housing on the land. But hundreds of the lots that Midtown purchased are still vacant, and the agency's done a poor job maintaining them. A former Midtown executive and 2 landscaping vendors now face felony charges for misusing $8.5 million.
All right. So again, that was a contract to keep up and clear the land, and they got $8 million. And didn't clear the land and didn't keep cutting the grass and didn't do the stuff they were supposed to do. So why did they do this? This agency was to slow down, quotation marks, gentrification happening in Third Ward. So really the city just put themselves in the middle and said, we're going to slow it down over here. And they just sat on these lots for years. Why did they do that? Because the city will be what? One of the most powerful landowners. I keep saying this. I get it. Y'all don't want to buy land. Y'all don't want to build a house. Y'all don't want to do stuff. I hear you. Erica, tell me about all the digital stuff. Hey, the book coming out, the book talks about digital to physical, and the reason why it's important to do a combination. And I don't think y'all understand, like, they're just sitting on these lots because they want to sell them to the highest bidder. What is the issue going on in Houston right now? The city is over budget. They're in debt. You think, no, not Houston. Everything's going around. This building is moving and stuff. And so what's the city going to do? They're going to play like our federal government. They're going to sell these land lots for big money. That's what happened with the tower. They're going to find the developer that'll pay the most money. Because again, I actually personally know builders who build in Houston and got lots for $1. They gave them these lots for $1. So the city is like, see, look, we gave some of the lots out. We gave it to this builder for $1. We gave it to that builder for $1. See how we did the land? We did what you told us to do. But then they're sitting on hundreds of other lots that could be developed. When you're crying about affordability in Houston, they could be developed. Okay? So again, you're going to see this years from now in American Greed, where they try to get the money back out of these vendors that all they had to do was go there and cut grass, and they're sitting on millions of dollars. It'll all come out in the wash eventually. I don't think y'all understand, like, you're dealing with second generation kids on one hand. On the other hand, you're dealing with immigrants who are like, oh, the game is do this. I'm going to go do this. They're not going to fight on what's the game plan. So let me play this clip, and then I'm going to play the last part, which is, y'all favorite, Mr. Warren Sapp. So let me play this.
Me too. And this is what I have to say about the top 10% who account for 49.7% of U.S. spending. They're fine as long as the stock market never goes down.
Got it.
It's how it works. It's called the wealth effect. Works both ways. And by the way, demographics is destiny. And when 40% of the stock market is owned by individuals who are 70 years of age or older, when 25% of US residential real estate is owned by individuals who are 70 years old or older, that puts Jay Powell in a very tight spot because he can need to lower interest rates. He can want to lower interest rates. He can press forward with lowering interest rates. My guess, they're not going to lower interest rates at the March 19th meeting, and it's going to be a replay of July of 2024. By the time we see March and April payrolls before they meet in mid-May, there's going to be regret. It's going to be the, why didn't we cut rates in July of 2024? Here we come in September of 2024 with a 50 basis point jumbo rate cut. I think we're going to see a replay of that script, because once we see March and April payrolls, it's going to be pretty apparent that the Fed made a mistake by not lowering interest rates at the March 19th meeting. ... However, the Fed is trapped. 70-year-olds and older own 40% of the US stock market. They're kind of okay. Look, fine. A year ago, I was making 5.5% on my cash. Now I'm making 4.25%. I'm okay with that. But don't touch it. If I'm making much less than 4% on my cash, that doesn't work. I'm retired. In 2001, I'm 70 today. I am the median age of a US baby boomer. I am 70 today. My mom is 78. She's at the very outer edge of baby boomer. She's the oldest baby boomer, but I'm pretending right now.
Again, she's in her 50s. She's just saying she's pretending to be 70.
I'd look really good if I was 70. I'm pretending right now that I'm 70 years of age. And here comes Jay Powell. And he's cutting into my interest expense. Now, I, as a 70-year-old, spend 70 cents of every dollar of interest income I make. It's money. It's cash income, and I'm happy to spend it. If my NASDAQ position portfolio goes up by $1, I'm only spending 2 pennies of that. I don't liquidate, I don't monetize near as much of my paper wealth as I spend of my interest income. But Jerome Hayden Powell up in the Eccles building needs to stop lowering my interest income now, immediately. How's that going to work when we're in recession? A recognized recession. Because in 2001, me, the theoretical 70-year-old, you know what? I was 20 years younger. So what? I went to go work at Southwest Airlines. I went to go work at Walmart as a greeter. I went back and got my old job. In 2007, there went my retirement savings again. But you know what? 60 was the new 50. Young, sprightly, fine, great, wonderful. Do not have to sell my stocks. I'll go back to work again. So I don't have to sell my stock. Today, what's that 70-year-old going to do if Jay Powell lowers the amount of income that they're collecting in interest when they own 40% of the stock market? This is the catch-22 that has got Jay Powell in a terrible trap with inflation coming down as quickly as it is. He won't have any choice but to lower interest rates in 2025. But the risk is the 70-year-olds and older start to liquidate their stock holdings. I don't even know what that looks like, Ed. I couldn't pretend to tell you, but I will tell you that that will test something that John Bogle is spinning in his grave, concerned about being tested.
So John Bogle, again, you go Google these people. I showed that to you because I want you to understand when it comes, it's called the wealth effect, because you see people who are making over 250,000 a year still shopping. People make over 100,000 a year still shopping. They're fine. Why? Because they own land. They own houses. As a person who is, one, co-partnering in a company that we are literally, I could call it wholesaling, right? And then also, you guys send me stuff all the time. Hey, my grandma, my somebody, they've died or they're getting ready to pass away. Erica, what do you think? Do you know anybody want to buy this land? I get hundreds of those emails because guess what? Every day somebody's turning 75 and every day somebody's turning 50 and every day somebody needs money. And sometimes people, grandma, need cancer treatments and they have to liquidate and they have to sell. And this is stuff people are not doing the math on. They're not doing the long-term math. There are people that are always going to be renters. They'll rent $800 rent in some of these towns for the rest of their life. They'll never buy a house. That's fine, as long as what? Somebody younger or newer owns the properties and keeps improving them. There was another part she talked about. Let me see if I can pull it back up to Truflation, I think is what they were calling it.
0.59%, which it makes a lot of sense, right? Like the official numbers were lower. People were saying that's just not, because back in June 17th of 2022, Truflation said that the real inflation we were experiencing here in this country was 11.59%, which it makes a lot of sense, right? Like the official numbers were lower. People were saying that's just not what I'm experiencing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Well, now it's below 1.4%.
That's right. And that is 30 million real-time price points that are being tracked on a day-to-day basis. Where are we seeing job losses right now? Where are we seeing prices fall right now? Where are we seeing delinquencies rise right now? Well, according to TREP, even though the worst of the worst appears to be coming off for the office sector, for example, of course, we've got a lot of people returning to the office. But what we're seeing right now is lodging. We're seeing hotel rates come down. We're seeing anecdotes of people saying, I went to Vegas, it was a ghost town. We're seeing people in leisure and hospitality lose their jobs. They were one of the biggest job losers in the month of February, surpassed only by federal workers who had lost their job. And this was a timestamp of February the 15th. So that's when the survey week for non-farm payrolls cut off. So we haven't even seen the bulk of the layoffs that have followed since then. But we are seeing something that I think really started to get market veterans' attention a few weeks ago when we got that personal income and spending report. Everybody looked immediately, oh, let's see what core PCE is doing. Let's see what PCE is doing. And they went, wait a minute, on an inflation adjusted basis, spending fell 0.5%, declined, and service spending is flat as a pancake? Wait. We've been working on the inflation narrative that service spending always goes up. What do you mean it flatlined and good spending cratered? That's what we're seeing. And that's why we're seeing once the caboose starts to finally come into the station, and that is services spending, which is flatline, the wheels officially start to come off. And what have we seen in the media, outside of the media salivating that they can finally declare a recession and blame it on Trump? Look, the people believe what they read, they do. But the disinflationary forces, the private sector job cuts, you know, we had Macro Edge they've been doing a great job of tracking layoffs as they're announced. And I've been a bit of a critic of Challenger Gray and Christmas, because in 2023 and throughout 2024, as best I could tell, they were understating announced layoffs. How do you have some major retailer in the United States announce that it's closing all of its locations and only managed to tally like 4,000 retail job losses in a month? I'm like, it's your job, Challenger Gray and Christmas, to track layoff announcements, and you didn't even begin to capture half of the jobs that were lost in retail in 1 month. Lo and behold, now that we have the first clean month of Trump in office, Challenger Gray and Christmas pops up with 172,000 jobs lost in February.
Exactly. We all know what was going on. Biden's like, don't y'all put that report out there. Don't you put that report out there. Because when Kamala was in there, like, we have 10,000 jobs across the whole United States. Because they did a ton of revisions. You guys can go back and see it on your own. They did a ton of revisions of job losses, but we aren't slow. Do you know what I'm saying? We saw article after article, news article after news article of these places closing. Duh. So again, Andrew, we've talked on this channel for about 10 years about tax liens. Again, elderly people will simply take their money out of the stock market and put it into what? Tax liens in their counties. They will put it into projects. They'll put it into hard money lending. They'll put it into owning some of these older places, because what's going to happen, the combination of they're getting older, and a lot of these old folks' homes are just going to drain them of their money. They're going to drain them of all their money, all their resources, in the effort to say, oh, their elderly housing costs $8,000 a month. These people don't want that. These people are like, how can I afford to have a stay-at-home nanny, or a woman, a day nurse that comes in, or a night nurse comes in and helps me so if I don't fall? That's what's really going. And then part of the places that I wanted to pick up and buy, majority of the tenants been there 20 years. They're elderly. They're elderly. So really what you're now facing is a property that's going to have elderly tenants, and slowly but surely units will be empty as people will have to go into long-term care. Again, I have a friend, I posted their link. I'm going to post it again after this video renders. They talk about group homes and assisted living. I will see if I can convince them to do an interview on this channel. I don't know if they'll be excited to do it, but they own multiple properties in Dallas. It's thousands and thousands of dollars being paid to care for people that are not elderly. Y'all forget that we have a huge population, or sometime around 1994, 1996, and I think 2008. There's this huge population of what we would call autism spikes in boys. So these boys are now getting to a point where they're going to have to live in long-term care facilities because their parents are too old. We personally know a wealthy family. They originally out of Louisiana, but they're in the Carolinas. They have a son that's 40 years old, and he has severe autism, doesn't talk, never has, walks and talks and takes showers and eats food and cooks food in the kitchen and everything else, but he can never long-term care for himself. And his brother, who again, Black community, got married late, had kids late, has very young kids. His parents, as they will get older, he will have to take over that responsibility. We are not factoring in the numbers of millions of people who will need some type of care. So some of the content you'll see on this channel over the next 90 days, yes, it's going to be a lot of me promoting the book and promoting the inner circle and going on about our business and doing what we do. But I really want y'all to understand, like, there's a pivot here, because I'm personally seeing it. Like, there's only so many times I can tell you go make money till you have to wake up one day and go, holy shit, my mom needs care. My mom needs cancer care. My mom needs something. A lot of y'all are coming with those emails, and I'm like, you had plenty of time to plan. Okay, you didn't plan, but we can plan now. So those are kind of the phone calls I'm working with now. A lot of people who are like, hey, what can I do today? And I'm like, all right, well, that's what you're gonna have to do. But we know the numbers of job losses have been more than 170,000 for a long time.
February, the sky is falling. They were playing catch up. They were playing catch up to layoff announcements that they know had already occurred. But what's more important here is that despite the fact that there were 62,000 layoffs that they attached to federal workers, well more than that were private sector. And here's the biggest problem. Here is the reason that President Trump and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, they've started to mention, that the economy may pause. I think over the weekend, Trump said that we may be in a time of transition people are using all kinds of lovely synonyms for recession, but not actually using the R word itself. Why is that? And that's because
okay, pause. People who are new to the channel, there's thousands of people who are new to the channel. This channel has talked about tax liens for literally 10 years. We have a playlist of tax liens and how to invest in tax liens. We have a tax lien course. You can buy tax liens for $400 to $1,000. We've been going over tax liens for years. We have an updated course called the Land Grab course. You'll see that where we talk about raw land, tax deeds, tax liens. It's just a refresher of it all. But if you're new to the channel, go check out the playlist. Exactly. Biden was like, don't put that shit on my watch. Let me go out the door with some dignity.
Because economists recognize a phenomenon known as the adverse feedback loop. So the private sector has been in layoff mode for some time, has been in cost-cutting mode for some time. In fact, first quarter CEO optimism rose. And that was one of the few actual aspects that was like, here's a positive headline. Why did CEO optimism rise? Well, because they announced that they were going to be imposing more hiring freezes and firing more people, which is shareholder friendly. You please shareholders, you cut costs, you get a pop in your stock price. But why they're optimistic, that's not necessarily a good thing. And the reason I bring up the idea of an adverse feedback loop is the more job losses we have in the public sector going forward. And by the way, not just direct federal employees. When you read a headline that says, that certain large consulting firms derive 98% of their revenues from federal government contracts, there will be trickle-down effects. There will be ripples into the private sector based on the work that they depend on coming from the federal government. So if the private...
Okay. It can be dry. I watch this shit all day because I love it. I love Danielle DiMartina Booth. I've told y'all the history of Italians, how hard it is when they went to go to school to talk about finance. They just did not want Italians. Warren Buffett, when he came out of school, they did not want him. They wanted Jewish people in finance. So these enclaves, if you actually study them, it's very unique. And a lot of Italians, if you see them in stock market now getting all this play online, it's funny because they were really pushed out for a long time. So she made her own company, QR Research, after working at the Fed, and she wrote a book. So she has a lot of good stuff. A whole decade. Erica, our restaurants are offering a credit price and a cash price. Have you noticed? What does that mean? The transaction fees. Same thing when you go to the gas station, they're like, hey, the gas price for cash is $2.20. The cash, cost for credit is $2.47. This is the same thing that happens to every business owner. This is what people don't understand. When you own a business, thousands of dollars go in transaction fees to credit card companies. American Express was the most notorious. That's why people say we don't even take American Express. Don't come over here with it. Go overseas with that shit. We don't want American Express, right? So you're saving, I'm talking about 3 to 10%. Now, on top of that, there's an element of money laundering. People pay people under the table. They pay lots of family members under the table. When it's cash, it's whatever you tell the government came into the office, not what you, everything. When we make stuff so digital, right? Everything has to be swiped. They make it seem like it's a security measure, but math be mathing. So let me show you this. Oh, y'all sent me this. This is Warren Sapp's church. I don't know if you remember the song. Never would have made it without you. I would have lost my mind. Okay, it's a good song. It's a classic. But he was preaching, and I am very offended by this. A lot of Black people are offended by this. And I saved it for the end because I rather educate and be silly on the end of the show than be silly and then try to bring y'all back into serious conversation. Before I show Warren Sapp, let me show you this. Make sure we're all on the same page. You may be new here. Welcome to the Classy Climb. We've been doing this a decade. We've been going strong on YouTube. We're one of the most robust YouTubers. We have over 3,100 videos. Down here, we have playlists. You can go here and click playlists. When you click the playlist, you get some great stuff. Tech Tuesday in 2023, Tech Tuesday in 2024, Tech Tuesday 2025, Middleman to Millions clips. All right, we're going to get the Vortex of Abundance clips. Y'all know I used to be on the Vortex. Deep in the Vortex, we had some truck money. We had Winter is Coming, okay? Before Kevin Samuels. We had Winter is Coming during the Game of Thrones, okay? We had the Travel Overseas series. Tech Jobs in 2022. Okay, now look, we got testimonials, got 23 testimonials here. We even made a separate testimonial page just for testimonials because we have 105 and we're still trying to go through them and put them out. We have an investing format platform. And look, oh my God, we have the tax lien. Okay, we have over 11 videos in there. And we have the Thankful Hustler series. That is way back. This is when your girl, look how, this is my old North Carolina office. This is how far back we going, way back. I'm talking about ancient. That was a good office. That office treated us well. So anyway, long and story short, a lot of old stuff is over there. But long and story short, you can go see the tax lien investing, 11 videos, lots of commentary. We've been on it for multiple years. But let's go on to Warren Sapp. Marvin Sapp. I'm sorry. Good gracious. I'm sorry. Marvin Sapp. Warren Sapp, Marvin Sapp, Saps on Saps on Saps. Paid cash at my medical office. That money went straight to an envelope. You already know. You already know. All right, let's go. My bad. Marvin Sapp. But you know what I meant. And I only knew something was going on because I saw videos making fun of it. And I'm like, what's happening? Did something happen? So let's go.
That is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk.
Oh man.
Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors.
I can't.
Close the doors. Close the doors.
You cannot. You can. That is a fire hazard. And again, you already know Black folk. We already laughing and making jokes. He was serious. He was serious. And here's the crazy part. 40,000 ain't no money. And y'all gonna say, Erica, you're disrespectful. I get it, y'all. 40,000. Your pastor ought to have a credit card, at least 2 of them, 20K a piece on it. If he's short this month, he ought to be able to swipe them credit cards. And that's the truth. That is the honest God truth. There's no reason you're running a church that large and have no credit cards. Let's go there. And you know they got Black people. We already got the comedy out.
There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
Have a seat. Pastor said no leaving.
I gotta go. We all gonna leave to
go. You ain't listening. Give me your money, nigga. What you got in here?
I don't have 20.
You ain't got 20?
That's for my child support. That's for my child support.
Hey, Pastor, we got 200 back here.
I owe child support. You tell my credit card.
Yeah, nigga.
If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 to sanctuary,
Can I go now?
That's $40,000.
It's gonna cost you 200 to come back in.
Oh my God.
Challenging each of you all down here.
Never would have made it.
I actually think $20 is a lot of money.
Sit down.
$20, believe
Stop
it or
chewing
not,
gum.
with my
You already know they're not serious. So here's the crazy part. I just saw Kev on stage in Austin, Texas, at a historical Black church. I didn't even know it existed. I'm in there. The parking lot's full. They picking us up in the golf carts. I mean, the service was packed from the rooter to the tutor. It was people upstairs, downstairs, and he was hilarious. He's a great showsman. You think sometimes some people will not be funny from the internet, but literally, he got the church circuit, or what we used to call the Chitlin circuit, on lock. Kev on stage. If you can see him in your town or city, go see him. I'm gonna read y'all comments, but I just want y'all to understand, when you see stuff like that happening, the economy's tight. Because the joke is, when white people get a cold, Black people got the damn pneumonia. Okay. And when I tell you that when they're like, what are Black jobs? Black jobs are the 50% of Black people who are in service industry jobs paying $30,000 a year or less. So who's gonna be the first to reduce them taxes them offering? It's gonna be women and men at church. And y'all act like no Black women in church. That's not true. I go to too many churches. It's plenty of men in church. You just need to check what church you at. Now I know I pissed a lot of y'all off saying that multiple months in a row, that if you're in church and it's not a mixed congregation and it's not growing, there's something wrong. No, Erica, the Lord told me to stay at Dr. Pookie Pimp's church on the corner of Pookie Pimp's. No, he did not. I'm not gonna let you lie on the Lord like that. The Lord didn't tell me to leave here, so I'm gonna be here. And I can't. I'm not gonna go there with you. I'm not gonna do it with you. You must be stopped. You have to stop these lies. The Lord ain't tell you that. You want to be there. Whenever kids tell me horror stories about their parents, their mom being at some terrible church, it's because she felt safe there. It's because she felt good there, not because everybody else. Okay? You got to miss me with that. Y'all not going to have me. You're going to miss me with that. Miss me. Let me see if I can do this. Let me show you this clip. And I'm going to read y'all comments and get out of here. This is just terrible. This is terrible.
ushers, close the doors. Close the doors.
Look at that one in the white.
Close the doors.
Now, Bishop, I'm just here to report the news. I don't want no smoke with nobody. Gospel singer Marvin Sapp is responding to a resurfaced video of the Texas pastor seemingly demanding ushers to hold churchgoers hostage as he raised a $40,000 offering in person and online during Baltimore's Paul Conference back in July of 2024, allegedly.
I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors.
Oh my God.
Close the doors.
Close them.
We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online.
Woo! Lord.
This is a small seed.
I'm trying to go to this response.
It's a statement saying, and I quote, "Recently, a clip has gone viral of me challenging 2,000 individuals to plant a seed of $20 during an international gathering." The pastor went on to say, "In that same moment, I also challenged leadership to lead by example, sowing $100. Bishop says that evening he personally gave more. Now, while some take issue with the $40,000 and Joe Clark showing up telling the ushers to close the doors, I'm trying to find out when they started charging and get up on the pulpit. Somebody get Shirley Caesar on the line."
Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seated, but I need everyone standing up here with us. So put your 20 away, preachers.
Yeah, leave.
That 20 wasn't for you.
Bishop Sapp did find offense in online viewers saying that he held churchgoers hostage.
I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors.
I can't.
Close the doors.
I can't.
Close the doors.
Going on to say the truth is, when finances are being received in any worship gathering, It is one of the most vulnerable and exposed times for both the finance and security teams. Bishop Sapp says movement during that sacred exchange can be distracting and, at times, even risky. He went on to say that his directive was not about control. It was more about creating a safe, focused, and reverent environment for those choosing to give and for those handling the resources. Unfortunately, the bishop says in this social media age, snippets are easily shared without context and assumptions are quickly made without understanding the full picture. Conferences have budgets, churches have budgets, according to Bishop Sapp, and the people have budgets.
Everyone up here, we've all sold and seated, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me. So
gathering
these words, I did. Because of your acknowledgement of what God did.
Do you see the man in white though? Are y'all looking at the man in white's mouth is open? I need y'all to see that.
Acknowledgement of what God did in word. There is an obligation that is attached to that acknowledgement.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
be offense. One thing about Beyonce's internet, they don't care how long ago it happened, or in this case, who was involved. They need answers. According to the streets, this is why you can't get people in the church now. Once
I can't see he getting too sassy. Look, let me read y'all comments. I just don't just at my church when we give, you know what they say? If someone in here is homeless or don't know where your next meal gonna be, we do not mind you reaching in the pot and grabbing some change out. We don't mind. That's literally what we say at my church. That's why I'm looking at him like, what? That's why I left the Baptist. Don't you put that on the Baptist. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He running them pockets. Very serious. And you have to give it in a good faith. So, I mean, I don't even want that money. That money in anger. That's some angry money. That's not even given to the Lord. Okay, that too. This is a mugging. The audacity. It's kidnapping. It's kidnapping, y'all. Creflo Dollar and Joel pass the buckets. That's right. You give out of your heart and out of what you the way I would have called 911. Come on, man. Lean on me. Is he using the money to do anything to help the community or just listen? Every church does have a budget. That's why I say when y'all go to some of these churches, I'm like, where the budget at? They share the budget. They tell you what the staff pays, how many staff members they pay, all that stuff. Literally be charged. Man, the struggle. Never would have paid it, okay? Pookie pimps. Y'all mama be hanging out on Pookie pimps churches and then acting like, oh yeah, my mom took me to a terrible church. No, your mom wanted to be. That's where your mama felt comfortable at the Pookie pimp church. You need to question your mama. What's going on with her? She a former stripper? She a leg walker? What's going on with your mama? She should never feel comfortable with Jerry Curlman. Man, Marvin Sapp couldn't tell me nothing with the hairline starting in the half of the back of his head. Nah, man, get out of here. Shave your head and get out of my face. Sounds like a kidnap. Sit and indulge. Department of Government Efficiency. Thank you for the super chat. Once you ask for a certain dollar amount of donations, it's considered paying a fee. Fact. Man, you already know who out here. I can't say it, Tam, but you know. I'm telling you, not while wearing a Rolex, sweating. Why is he sweating? Them lights is bright. A lot of these pastors are pimps. They said close the door. You can't clean it up. Ain't no way. It ain't no way. I don't know who does this. I never experienced this. Woo! It sweating through the shirt. Now, why would that man of God be telling that story? Oh, napper. I don't know how old it is or when it is. I just know it went viral. So I'm not accusing him of doing this recently. Okay. So I'm not accusing him of doing this recently. That's not what I'm saying. If you try to walk out, it's kidnapping. They were obedient. That's the thing. I'm actually, you know what I'm saying? They didn't cause trouble. So, I mean, they didn't call anybody. Somebody filmed it. Somebody released this clip. I don't know where they would have, somebody released it. I hope not. It didn't do anything to me, but I just can't. I mean, I be wanting brothers to let it go. Just slide it all the way off, brother. Black men look great with bald heads. I don't know what's the resistance. Not gospel efficiency. So listen, that's how I'm in the show. I start the show off talking about rate cuts won't matter to skilled workers. I told y'all I'm out when I closed on my mortgage, there was literally 50 mortgages ahead of me. So my poor lender had to work in tandem with another mortgage lender to even get the deal closed because he was so backed up. So don't fall for the okie doke. There are people closing on houses, buying property. You saw the African brother that's been living in Tennessee his whole life. You see him building houses at 24. You see he tried to do e-com. He tried to do drop shipping. He tried to do the things. These younger Black kids that are in these schools with these laptops and hang out with these mixtures of kids, they going to get to it much faster than we will, just to be truthfully honest. And then, you know, the immigrants is going to keep immigrating. And they're going to do what they got to do because they realize this America is a game of monopoly and ownership, and they're going to get on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you got a little laugh at the end. I don't understand, you know, but again, it's hard to be in front of people and be in front of a audience and talk. And remember, everything's recorded nowadays. Like this clip could have been years ago. I don't know, but somebody had the clip and somebody released it and somebody's laughing because it went viral. So, only made certain listen. Sometimes you just got to shave it. You just got to let it slide off the back. It's okay. I much rather have an odd shaped head than, you know, weirdness. I don't like it when you're putting the Beijing on. It's just let it go, brother. Be free. Be free, brother. Be free to be you. But at the end of the day, I hope y'all understand what I'm talking about in this channel, where I'm kind of going in the progression. If you don't, you'll notice it after a few months. High income jobs, invest your money, try to get 10 to 20% returns on your income, however that may be. Reach out to Diamond Dave, or excuse me, Dave, the retail trader. It has changed, and reach out to some of these people that we bring on the channel. They're very helpful. They're encouraging you in a time of transition. Pay attention, increase your income, invest. Land is still being bought. Elderly people still gonna sell stuff. You guys to know that's what's going on. Sorry, you guys. It's your girl Erica, Classy Climb Blog. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining me so late.
This is David W. Williams, and I'm giving a testimony to Erica Williams and her team. Because of the advertising relationship that we were able to develop, my company had the best month in the month of November for the whole year of 2024. And I'm talking about our sales were 3 or 4 times any other month during that particular year. And I know it's because of the relationship that I had with Erica and how she worked with me as an advertising partner. So now here's the benefit of working with her and her team. She's going to communicate to you what you're going to get as a result of working with her. She's going to over deliver on her value that she's providing, right? And she's not going to do a one-off deal. She's going to really invest in your success because she's really invested in making sure that you're going to get a success story from working with her as an advertising partner. So if you're looking to drive more sales, you're looking to bring in more leads, and you're also looking to get more exposure to what you're doing, you want to reach out to Erica and ask her, can I advertise with you?